Hi, and welcome to Sunday morning, maybe, possibly. I thought it was quite nice, my background. It's actually one of my duvet covers drying on the clothes horse in my sunroom, so I thought I'd keep it because it's quite pretty. I quite like it. It makes a bit of a change. I could actually hold up the cushion, the pillow covers behind me as well, but I don't think I can be bothered with that. So there we go. So that's my lovely duvet cover. Anyway, today we're going to talk about body shape and what you like and what you don't like about yourself. And I know that's quite an emotive subject. It certainly is with me because I've had a pretty sort of miserable time of it, really, in terms of my aspirational body shape. These days I don't really try and become more than what I am anymore. But when I was growing up, and it was the sort of early 70s when I was young and I went to school, all the girls in my class were all really skinny. I was the kind of podgiest one. And I used to look at these girls and they used to have these little knobbly knees, and I used to think, gosh, how do they get knobbly knees? My knees were just quite well covered. And also they had some of them had gaps at the top of their legs, and I thought, how come my legs rub together, and how come whenever I go swimming I get a sore in between my legs, and they all can get, hardly have to get dry in the changing room before they're off again, and they never have that problem. And I thought I was the only one until I got older and I realised that not everybody was skinny like them, and some people are actually like me. And I have, I don't know whether you realise, but my mother was a real kind of beauty queen, and she was very svelte and very slim and gorgeous, long legs. And my father was always sort of very athletic, even though he was sort of slightly less attractive. Well, in a couple of years I'll be 60. That the opposite sex, or whoever it is, the female sex, whoever it is, they still like women of a certain type. They're still that kind of old school tick box, I suppose, I think. Perhaps as people get older, they realise that it's not all what's on the outside that's important. It's actually what's on the inside too. And perhaps they've had maybe one or two failed relationships and they realise that looks aren't all they're cracked up to be. There might be hope for people like me as people like me bustle through life with their big bums and chubby tree trunk legs and flapping arms. Anyway, who knows? But I found this poem which caught my attention, actually, about large legs. If you've got large legs out there, then you'll kind of know what I'm talking about, because it can be really annoying that you can't wear, well, I certainly would never wear a short skirt, and I would never wear anything that was kind of anything that was really above my ankles would never be seen. And I'm very conscious of that, and it kind of holds me back in lots of ways, because I sort of feel that it's the way I'm built and the way that I'm distributed in my body. But perhaps if I didn't have rheumatoid arthritis, and well, there's no point making excuses, I could go on a massive training dietary plan and become somebody else. But at the moment, I am what I am. And this is a poem. It's called A Poem in Which My Legs Are Accepted. That's for all people like you and me out there, if you want people like me. And it's by Kathleen Fraser. And then we're going to talk about what it is, the joys of having chubby legs or short stubby legs or long tree trunk legs or whatever it is. And even if you've got skinny legs and you hate them and you don't like your knobbly knees, or you don't like your ankles, or you've got thick ankles, or you've got thin ankles. I mean, there's this a whole rule book of stuff that we have to navigate, don't we, as we get older? And it's just, not even as we get older, from the moment we're born, stuff that's thrust on us that we just have to sort of work our way through. And it can be really, really irritating. But there we go. I'm going to start reading this poem and see who was it again? The woman that's written it, Kathleen Fraser, has to say about a poem in which my legs are accepted. Legs. How we have suffered each other, never meeting the standards of magazines or official measurements. I have hung you from trapezes, sat you on wooden rollers, pulled and pushed you with the anxiety of taffy, and still you are yourselves. Most obvious imperfection, blight on my fantasy life, strong, plump, never to be skinny, or even hinting of the svelte beauties in history books or Sears catalogues. Here you are, solid, fleshy and white as when I first noticed you, sitting on the toilet, spread softly over the wooden seat, having been with me only 12 years, yet as obvious as the legs of my 30-year-old gym teacher. Legs! Oh, that was the year we did acrobatics in the annual gym show. How you split for me. One-handed cartwheels from this end of the gymnasium to the other, ending in double splits. Legs, you flashed in blue rayon slacks my mother bought for the occasion, and though you were confidently swinging along, the rest of me blushed at the sound of clapping. Legs, how I have worried about you, not able to hide you, embarrassed at beaches in high school, when the cheerleaders' slim brown legs spread all over the sand with the perfection of bamboo. I hated you. Still you have never given out on me. With you I have risen to the top of blue waves. With you I have carried food home as a loving gift, when my arms began unjellying like madrelin. Legs, you are a pillow, white and plentiful with feathers for his wild head. You are the endless scenery behind the tense sinewy elegance of his two dark legs. You become my joyfully and you welcome him joyfully and dance, and you will be the locks in a new canal between continents. The ship of life will push out of you and rejoice in the whiteness, in the first floating and rising of water. That's a really good one about legs, isn't it? Because she's clearly had some fun with her legs. I mean, she's clearly done lots of things like cartwheels and splits. I mean, I've never done a cartwheel in my life. I've never done a headstand in my life. I've kind of almost done the splits because I used to be quite sort of flexible and almost double jointed. But I have never, ever thrust myself in the air in a cartwheel. And I've never had the confidence that by landing, I won't break my entire back, body, head, feet, bones, whatever it is. But I think that's a really good poem about how you can accept your legs for what they are and the great things that you can do with your legs, but also the things that you still quite envious about, like the cheerleaders in their slim brown bamboo legs lying on the beach. I mean, things like that, you know, that's what my mum was like. She was like a sort of cheerleader, and it was just, oh gosh, the bane of my life. I'm going to read it again because I think it's great, and I'm going to go through it and I'm going to talk about talk about the verses as we go through it and see whether they relate to you, because I'd love to know whether it relates to you or not, because I can't be the only one out there who's had issues with my legs. A poem in which my legs are accepted. Legs, how we have suffered each other, never meeting the standards of magazines or official measurements. Well, yeah, we know about that. All the magazines in the kind of 60s, 70s, 80s, where you had to wear lycra like Olivia Newton-John in Grease, or Jane Fonda with her fantastic physique. I mean, I love them both to death, but I mean, they really were skinny. I have hung you from trapezes, I wish. Sat you on wooden rollers, I wish. Pulled and pushed you with the anxiety of taffy, and still you are yourselves. Yes, my legs certainly are themselves. Most obvious imperfection. Blight on my fantasy life. Well, not quite a blight, but certainly I could have done a lot more fantasy life stuff with better legs, I think. Strong, plump, never too skinny. Never too skinny. They were always too podgy. Or even hinting of the svelte beauties in history books or Sears catalogues. Never hinting of any kind of woman in a catalogue or a history book. No way, Jose. Here you are, solid, fleshy and white as when I first noticed you sitting on the toilet, spread softly over the wooden seat, having been with me only 12 years. I think I first noticed my legs when I was about 6, and I realised that everybody else's was skinny and mine were not skinny. And they could run much faster than me, and I could just manage a bit of a plod. Spread softly over the wooden seat, having been with me only 12 years, yet as obvious as the legs of my 30-year-old gym teacher. Yeah, I had the legs of a kind of like 50-year-old, I think, by the time I was about 10. Legs! Oh, that was the year we did acrobatics in the annual gym show. How you split for me. Almost, but not quite. One-handed cartwheels. Never. I just do a bit of a kind of flip and then end up on the grass. From this end of the gymnasium to the other. No way. Ending in double splits. Legs you flashed in blue rayon slacks my mother bought for the occasion, and though you were confidently swinging along, the rest of me blushed at the sound of clapping. I think the only clapping that I had when I was doing any kind of gymnastics was the clapping of my thunder thighs as I thrust myself around the place trying to look like the rest of them. Legs! How I have worried about you, not able to hide you, embarrassed at beaches, in high school, when the cheerleaders' slim brown legs spread all over the sand with the perfection of bamboo. Oh my goodness, I used to wear a sarong on the beach so that nobody could see my legs, or I'd walk around with a towel wrapped around me, probably from about the chest down. I mean, I do remember wearing a bikini when I was probably about 11 or 12, and I was feeling very self-conscious about that, and the only reason I was wearing a bikini was because everybody else was. But I certainly haven't worn one since, which is probably a very good thing for everybody concerned, especially people that might actually see me. Oh, I hated you, and still you have never given out on me. Well, my legs did give out on me, actually. I was in a wheelchair for 3 years and on crutches, so I had to have knee replacements. So my legs did give out on me. Although I love them dearly, they did give out on me. With you I have risen to the top of blue waves. With you I have carried food home as a loving gift when my arms began unjellying like medroline. Legs, you are a pillow. My legs certainly are a pillow. They're very soft and squidgy. White and plentiful, yep. With feathers for his wild head. Yeah, I'm pretty much somewhere that someone might want to lay their head, which is a good thing, including, boyfriends, children, husbands, whatever they are. You are pets, preferably, these days. You are the endless scenery behind the tense, sinewy elegance of his 2 dark legs. You welcome him joyfully and dance. I have welcomed people with my legs for sure, and that's always been quite fun, so long may that continue at some point in the future, maybe, I don't know. And you will be the locks in a new canal between continents. The ship of life will push out of you and rejoice in the whiteness, in the first floating and rising of water. Yes, I have given birth from my children, have probably come through and seen my legs. One of the very first things that they've probably seen in life, but there we go. That's not such a bad thing, I suppose. But anyway, there we go. I think that's a great poem by Kathleen Fraser about legs, and it's in this brilliant book, which She Is Fierce, which I think anybody who has legs like mine is probably going to feel like they're pretty fierce. And I mean, what can I say? So if you kind of unpick all of that, I mean, I can laugh about it, but goodness me, I mean, the trials and tribulations of having chubby legs, or legs that aren't long enough, or knock knees, or pigeon toes, or whatever it is. I mean, I think all of us, even if we feel that our legs are too skinny, or our calves are too fat, or we don't have enough muscle, or we don't have enough, our kneecaps, our knees are baggy, or our, whatever it is, I think we just have to let that go, don't we? We just have to actually be really thankful for the fact that most of us can walk. I know some of you won't be able to walk, but most of us probably can walk. Most of us can walk a distance. Most of us can probably lift those feet up a bit faster and walk and make that into a bit of a run or a bit of a jog. A lot of us do amazing things on our legs, don't we? Sort of ice skating, rollerblading. I mean, in that poem, I've never been on a trapeze in my life. I have no intention of ever going on a trapeze. I have no intention of actually ever really leaving the ground unsupported completely. And that means either by crane or by some kind of forklift truck or some kind of special harness. I'm never, ever going to throw myself into midair and expect to land on my legs without breaking them and breaking every other part of my body that's joined onto them, like my legs and my hips at the same time. But yeah, no, they are amazing things, aren't they? Sort of these mechanical things that just keep going, keep walking. And people do the most incredible feats of human, amazing stuff that they can achieve with their legs. When I look at all the gymnasts that are out there doing stuff and all of the amazing athletes that will be coming up in the Olympics, I mean, they are fantastic and they are really, really brilliant. And I mean, they train and train and train and train. We've had some phenomenal sports people in this country, whether they're cycling, whether they're using their legs to run, to climb, to do, like I said, gymnastics, whether they've been, rowing, whether they have to, the knees and the legs are pushing. I mean, incredible feats of brilliance from people using their bodies and especially having to use their legs. So yeah, good on you. And also all those wonderful, beautiful kind of people out there who use their bodies for selling clothes, whether they're modelling, whether they're all shapes and sizes, all of that, I think fantastic. And if you have the courage to get your legs out there, whether you feel a bit wibbly wobbly jelly like, or whether you're feeling like they're sort of muscular and strong and sinewy, or you know, really like little sort of spider legs or whatever they are, and you're really comfortable with them, then good for you, because that's what's really important, isn't it? To actually feel comfortable in your skin and not to be so self-conscious. I do believe that had I not been told constantly from about the age of, I don't know, probably about 0, that my legs were chubby little legs, look at her chubby little legs, oh, your thighs are rubbing together and that's your fault because you're fat, and oh, you know, we've been on the beach and watch out because you mustn't, you know, your legs are going to rub together and you're going to get sore legs and blah, 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 blah. Well, if I hadn't been told that and made to feel like I was different, I probably would have walked around a lot more and been a lot less self-conscious about my legs. And in being a lot less self-conscious about the size and shape of my legs, I would have probably done a lot more exercise. Had I done a lot more exercise, perhaps my legs would have been a bit better in the long run. So actually, you know, please remember not to criticise people who have chubby legs. And also a lot of it is genetics as well. I mean, okay, my mum had the most amazing legs, but I just didn't, and I had all sorts of stuff going on which meant that my legs continued to get, you know, not very attractive really. But if you think about, you know, if you close your eyes and it's dark at night and, you know, someone's touching my leg, someone obviously I would want to touch my leg, then it probably feels lovely and soft and squidgy and nice. But put them into a pair of shorts or a miniskirt, that's not going to happen. So yes, I suppose they're probably okay for sort of private consumption, but that's about as far as it goes really. And I still feel very ashamed of my legs, even to this day. So I would say to all of you, don't get to my age and still feel ashamed about your legs. Just go and have some fun. Wear the clothes you want to wear. Put a pair of really fun tights on or something and wear that short skirt. Who actually really cares? It's only me who's just got a hang up about it because of my silly upbringing. And I'm trying to sort of blast that apart because I think that's all a bit ridiculous really. And it shouldn't really apply anymore because I'm a fully fledged, fully grown adult and times have changed and we should really just be rejoicing in our difference and our different shapes and different sizes. So all I can say to you is, and I'm going to say this to myself as well, Lisa, don't worry about your legs. Enjoy your legs. Rejoice in your legs. Have some fun with your legs. Get out there and walk with your legs. Do some stuff with your legs. Swim with your legs. Walk with your legs. I'm not sure I'll be doing any running, but certainly do try and walk a little bit faster with your legs. And just see what you can do. Because really, at the end of the day, it's your legs that matter and it's your body. So, there we go. I'm going to see what some people have said. Julia says that she used to complain about her legs and ask her mum why she didn't have beautiful legs. And she said, stop complaining. Your legs get you where you're supposed to go every day. Try and be thankful for them. You have lovely legs. Well, that's really great positive reinforcement. And, my mum would be the opposite of that. She would say, well, if you're complaining about your legs, then you should do something about it. Lose some weight, get healthy, and stop complaining about your legs. Otherwise, just, live with them and stop being so silly. That's the kind of thing that probably my mum would have said. So I'm really glad that your mum, Julia, was positive and amazingly positive about your legs, because she probably dispelled your insecurity at a very early age and meant that you have not lived your life feeling that you're kind of a pariah because of your legs. And Kay says, I have beautiful skin and a beautiful face. Oh, okay, that's so sweet. My skin, I'm very fortunate about. I'm very lucky about. And I think it's because I haven't really smoked and I never used to drink. I do have a glass of wine or two now. And I always moisturise and I've always looked after my skin. And I think I'm just fortunate with decent skin and decent hair, really. So thank you for that. And although I don't grow my nails, I have good nails and good teeth. I think I've only got like one filling. So I'm very fortunate for that. I'm very freckly. I've got lots of freckles. I think that's because I grew up in the tropics at the beginning, and we used to run around outside with no suntan lotion on or anything. And then when we used to go away in the summer, when we came to England, we used to go to Spain or Menorca or places like that. And my dad, he just used to use kind of olive oil, so very fair skin, so that's not good. But I never sunbathed, so I'm really fortunate. So my face was never really in the sun. My arms were, because I used to love swimming and stuff. But yeah, but thank you, Kay. It's very nice to hear that you like my skin. That's a good thing, isn't it? Good, decent skin. And I suppose, and I remember my stepmother saying to me, when I said, "Oh, my legs are really chunky and big, and my tummy and my bum and everything," and she said to me, "Lisa, you can sit on your bum, but it's your face that everyone's going to see, and that's really a really important thing." So I agree with her with that one. I'm kind of with her on that, and I thought that was a really nice thing to say, because yes, you can sit on your bottom, obviously, when you sit down, and then you're really engaging with people facially. So that's definitely something which I'm glad that I have a decent face really for that. And then Lorna says she's got stocky legs, but they get her places up and down hills. And she said her mum never let us focus on shallow skin beauty, but always kind of reinforce the positive self-image. And even freckles were called summer sprinkles. Oh, that's so sweet, Lorna. You're absolutely right. I mean, look, I've got my freckles, and they are summer sprinkles because they come when the sun comes out, and I actually love them. And my daughter has got the most beautiful skin. It's very sort of porcelain, clear, beautiful. She's got very sort of dark auburn hair, beautiful, beautiful face. And she's got these little freckles that come. And again, like you said, summer sprinkles, and they are beautiful, and they really enhance her beauty actually. And she's got, she likes the idea of having she's got a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous figure. And she likes having a bottom, and she likes having thighs, and she actually really enjoys that. So I'm with her on that one. I think brilliant. Go for it, girl, because that's going to get you places. Having that kind of confidence in your self-image is really, really important. So yes, so I thought I'd pop in and just talk about legs actually. I know it's a bit random, but I think it's quite an interesting subject. And I know that a lot of people have fixations about legs. I think some people say, oh yes, I'm a leg person, or oh, I'm a face person, or I'm a bottom person, or a breast person, or whatever it is. And I would say, actually, you should really just be a person, and really just go for the person, and for the person who's on the inside. That's what's really important. And don't really worry too much about what they look like, as long as they have a really loving heart and kind, and they make the most of what they've got, because we can't all be like tick the boxes of superstar, supermodel, super brilliant, super blah blah blah. As long as we are reaching our full potential, making the most of what we got, enjoying what we've got, and actually reveling in what we've got. And I can remember someone said to me, don't wear baggy clothes and things, just wear something that's really fitted to enhance your body shape, because it's really gorgeous. And I think that we're at a time now, hopefully in history and in life, where we'll be able to say that anything goes, and any shape, any size, any height, any width, any colour, any breed, any creed, anything goes, and everybody in their own right has just as much right to be beautiful, and to show that, and to share that, and to just be out there and be themselves, 100% authentic to who they are, and just love themselves for what they are. I think that's really, really important. So don't worry about your flabby legs and your this and your that. It's really not that. It's not that much of an issue. So I'm going to just read this one more time with a positive tilt to it, lean to it, and then I'm going to leave you to enjoy your own legs and go and do something exciting with them today, whatever it is you're going to do. A poem in which my legs are accepted. Legs, how we have suffered each other, never meeting the standards of magazines or official measurements. I have hung you from trapezes, sat you on wooden rollers, pulled and pushed you with the anxiety of taffy, and still you are yourselves. Most obvious imperfection, blight on my fantasy life. Strong, plump, never to be skinny, or even hinting of the svelte beauties in history books or Sears catalogues. Here you are, solid, fleshy, and white as when I first noticed you sitting on the toilet, spread softly over the wooden seat, having been with me only 12 years, yet as obvious as the legs of my 30-year-old gym teacher. Legs? Oh, that was the year we did acrobatics in the annual gym show, how you split for me one-handed cartwheels from this end of the gymnasium to the other, ending in double splits. Legs, you flashed in blue rayon slacks my mother bought for the occasion, and though you were confidently swinging along, the rest of me blushed at the sound of clapping. Legs, how I have worried about you, not able to hide you, embarrassed at beaches in high school when the cheerleaders' slim brown legs spread all over the sand with the perfection of bamboo. I hated you, and still you have never given out on me. With you I have risen to the top of blue waves. With you I have carried food home as a loving gift when my arms began unjellying like madriline. Legs, you are a pillow, white and plentiful with the feathers of his wild head. You are the endless scenery behind the tense, sinewy elegance of his two dark legs. You welcome him joyfully and dance. And you will be the locks in a new canal between continents. The ship of life will push out of you and rejoice in the whiteness, in the first floating and rising of water. There you go. Let's see what we've got here. Lorna says, personally, she says, I hate the look of my legs, spider legs and all that malarkey, but given up making it a focus. As Mum says, it doesn't stop me doing things well, maybe in miniskirts, but wouldn't in my vintage now anyway. I agree. I think you should never, ever stop enjoying your legs and having fun with them and doing all those things that you enjoy doing with them, whether they're sporty or whether they are sedentary, whether it's Pilates, a bit of yoga, a bit of gentle walking, fell running, fell walking, whatever it is. Enjoy your legs, enjoy being able to use them. I think that's the most important thing. I remember when I was in a wheelchair and on crutches for about 3 years, I couldn't use my legs. And my legs were just there, really. I couldn't do anything with them. And I just basically thought, well, if I don't have legs, well, I believe you me, if you can't use your legs, it's a big problem. And it's very, very, very difficult to get anything, if you can't use your legs, basically public transport is almost impossible. Going into supermarkets is almost impossible. Everywhere seems to have a step or a few steps up to it. It's an absolute nightmare. Things are a lot better now. And this is like the early 2000s when I came back from New York, and it was absolutely awful. And so now I try to use my legs as much as I can and dread the idea that whatever happens in my future life, I might end up back in a wheelchair. So if you've got the use of your legs now, go out there and use them and make the most of them, because you never know what the future holds. So yeah, keep them going, keep them running, keep them walking, keep them active, keep them moisturised, and keep them just doing what they're there to do. Get you out and about, get you out into this big wide world, and pottering around the garden or whatever it is that you're there to do. Anyway, lots and lots of love. Yes, okay, yeah, mobility is so taken for granted. It's only when you don't have use of your legs that you realise that actually, life is very different. It's very difficult. So on that not very positive note, but I just want to end on a positive note. I love my legs. I may not have shaved my legs for a while. Too much information. They do get moisturised every day, so they are nice and soft. And they are very squidgy. So anyway, I'm going to go. Enjoy your day. Who is it? I've got my glasses on. Karen says, thanks for your positivity. Well, we've got to be positive, haven't we, Karen? Because if we're not positive in this world, then heaven help us is all I can say. So let's go for it and enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. And thank you, Kay, for your contribution as well. And goodbye, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday wherever you are in the world. If you're going to bed, if you're getting up, just enjoy your legs and enjoy all they can do for you. And if you're having problems with your legs, I'm sending you lots of love, lots of healing, and I hope that you're not suffering too much. So lots and lots and lots of love. Take care and enjoy your legs and other people's legs. They're quite nice, actually. Enjoying other people's legs is always a good thing. Bye-bye.